Presented by the Data Break Network. This is New Eden.
Welcome, spacefaring people of the mobile gaming community, and welcome to New Eden FM, the radio show, your mix of the weekly news on all things Eve Meta, and we do it while we keep you in the groove. Music to take you to infinity and beyond. This is Maestra in the studio on the ones and twos today, and as you can see, I am no longer a host, and that's because having stepped away from the game, moving towards some real life things that I need to accomplish, not to mention dealing with my health issues. Uh, yeah, I gotta do it, right? So what do we do in such a circumstance? Well, we pass the torch. Miss Alandria of the Galaxy, and of course my good friend and longtime colleague in space combat. Not to mention one of the most fun guys I've had the pleasure of yeet fleeting with in Fat Nick. So
Hello.
yeah, yeah. So
All right.
yeah. So Nick, how's it been, buddy?
Yes.
I haven't talked
It's
to you in
going
what feels
good.
like weeks, right?
Yes. Well, we spoke last week for the first time in weeks, so
Mm. Yeah, it had to be that way. I'm terribly sorry, but real life first, and you've already been filled in the gruesome details of the surgery that I'm about to undergo in a couple of months. So I'll spare the rest of the community. If you're interested, by the way, in all of those things, you can DM me, and I will tell you what is included in that when you have to have your back essentially reconstructed from the ground up. It's
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 a
not.
horror show.
Oh, isn't it though? And Alandria, how have you been?
Oh, I'm doing. I'm here from all of me from Declan to Faith Abolis, from Fountain all the way over to In's mother. All of me is paying attention this morning, and well, that one of me in Providence. I'm not sure what she's doing, but you know the Inn boss works in mysterious ways, so we're just not even going to question her. But the rest of me, all here this morning.
Oh, jeez, man. I swear that is like timeless coming from you. So, what do we have to expect for this week's episode, Alandria?
Oh, we've got a lot in store. We've been away for months, so we've got a lot to talk about. Everything from what's happening in Fountain and the state of the war to those mysterious capital ships that just keep appearing in people's inboxes when they complain enough. We're
Oh
going
my
to cover it all
New Eden
coming up.
News.
And welcome everyone to New Eden News. Ah, jeez. You know what? I don't really play the game, right? Alandria, would you?
No,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care
Nick's
who
got
does
it.
it. Yeah, I'm just looking at that credit card gift go crazy in the sound of us right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jeannie asked what's the point of insurance that costs more than the cap? Well, that is the point, is so that you will swipe your credit card. That is very much the point. So,
And talking about swiping the credit card with the daily special we have
Oh gosh.
since short.
oh,
When I
the
looked it
latest
up
money
first,
grab from.
yes, when I first looked, it was like 449 euros. I was like, holy shit.
What?
Oh my.
Wait, what?
They have
Yeah.
the problem. Are you on an iPhone?
Yeah?
No, I'm on
What the
iOS.
What? But wait, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
549 euros.
Yeah, they had some sort of problem with it. They sent everybody some compensation. I hope they anybody who was
Oh,
dumb enough to click on it and accidentally got charged 500 and something euros. I hope that they get some sort of compensation from their bank for the amount of time they're going to spend trying to get a refund for that crap.
Yes. Because it's only a $5 package.
what?
Yes, it's only a $5 package. Yes. but they somehow put it for 500 and something on some of them.
Hey guys, sorry about that. We
Some
accidentally put an extra zero in there.
Yeah, that ranks right up there with the update that they did that was melting people's phones because the screen was so heavy and it was still running in the background the whole time you were playing the game. It was running in the background, so it was melting people's phones. Remember, you saw the pictures, people's batteries popping out because they exploded and everything. Yeah, NetEase is like, "Oops, sorry, our bad."
So like, hold on. They put a typo in their store, which is the thing that they clearly care about the most. The store, okay, everyone knows this. Whatever. They put a.
Oh dear Lord.
And you mean to tell me that they made the mistake of putting two extra zeros on.
No, they just missed a comma. That's all.
Oh dear Lord.
I feel like I'm slowly dying over here.
Also, I like what Junie says. NetEase, scamming is illegal. We will ban you. Also, NetEase, my bad on scamming you, Keck.
Oh man, that is.
But the good news is the
That's nice,
Growth Fund
man.
has an update.
Oh yes, that growth fund update that they did is nice. The extra nanocores are handy.
Yep. Will of Steel, I think it was, and another one.
Yeah, the Will of Steel and I think the Dark Halo for the battleship. Will of
Yeah.
Steel for the battlecruiser and Dark Halo for the battleship. And nice little cores. I mean, it's useful,
They're good.
especially yeah. So that's nice, and a lot of Lazarus units as well. And the best thing is, if you've
MSP.
already bought it, you can claim it. If you've already purchased it, you can claim the stuff they added. You're not just
Of course,
missing out.
those
And now
license
if
units
you-
are going to be very helpful for when you drop in a ticket to appeal to the NetEase SRP guide, then they'd say, no, you can spec out of the account. Man, oh my god. Someone explain that to me. That shit started going on after I left the game. What is this nonsense? Like,
What about?
well, there were some people who apparently complained enough that they got their capital ships replaced because they were VIP gold members who apparently have given NetEase enough money that NetEase decides that it's easier to give them the capital ship than to risk them not giving them money anymore.
Ouch.
dude,
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy.
dude, like, so you know what? I'm gonna go on record and just and say this, that I think everyone already knows that I'm thinking right now, and as someone who has played Eve Online or Eve, I've been around this ecosystem for a really long time. It's probably been maybe 14 to 16 years since the first time I played in an Eve environment, right? I find it to be completely, totally, and outrageously insulting to the player base that this kind of thing is going on. Eve has always been a game about consequence. It's something that when I talked to you earlier in the week, Nick, I said that very same thing. Eve is about consequence, and if you don't have consequences to your actions, then, I mean, what separates it from any other game? I mean, it's,
Exactly.
It
makes it more or less sort of pay to win.
I mean, but right now they're sending the message that if you pay them enough money, then it doesn't matter. You can get away with murder, right? And it's one thing when you're paying for like little edges and stuff like that. To say, for example, maybe you pay for more SP so that you can get to tech level 9 on a new clone on day one. I don't care. Nobody cares about that, right?
No.
However, when it becomes a problem that you can actually pay for favoritism from the general management team, now you have a problem. And I think that in itself is really fucked up. I'm sorry, but that is really fucked up. And I hell no. I mean, like I literally thought when I backed away from the game to take care of like my health issues and to go on my spiritual journey that these people could not possibly do something that would irritate me more than the time that they said that they would only do a rebalancing update once a year. Thank goodness they didn't do that, by the way. Thank goodness they decided that they were going to do that. They're going to do it twice a year. Great. I didn't think that they could possibly
Yeah.
do something that would be as bad as that. They proved me wrong. They somehow managed to prove me wrong anyway. It like I don't
They're good at that.
I don't really understand how on earth a game development company can be so absolutely good at pissing all over their community. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not a host anymore, so I'm going to
Alex.
shut up.
Well, we're very free form on this show. So if you're on this show, you get to speak your mind.
Yes.
But
Yeah, speaking my mind.
here's
I am saying that they're
here's
full
the
of
thing that
shit. Since now, there's
they
technically nothing they can do to me in game or otherwise.
well, yeah,
What the-
this is true. But it's true. It is pretty lame that they'll replace some people's ships because they've given them more money than others. That is not a way to run an effective business, because all that's going to do is ensure that those people that you're replacing their ships because they've given you so much money, they're going to be the only ones giving you money. Because yeah, guess what? Nobody else wants to give you money since you're playing favorites. And yeah, my $15 a month isn't good enough for you. I see how it is. I've given you my $15 a month faithfully for since day one. There are some people that play one character. They've gotten their mega duo. Maybe they even, whenever the Concord passed in, they bumped it up to $25 a month that they've been giving them because they do their subscription and their Concord. They don't buy all this other stuff. They just pay their sub and their Concord, but they do it faithfully. Why is it that these people who faithfully support the company regularly are not worth the people who maybe have an account, they don't log in, they don't play the game hardly except for to do stuff, and they swipe their credit card, swipe their credit card, swipe their credit card. They give them a few $1,000s, they play for a few hours, then they go off and go do something else, and they come back. But you got these people who play and are in the community and are fixtures of the community, but they don't feed NetEase with their credit card.
Well,
They play the game.
To be fair, I think that what Altair Abenalat was saying earlier in the Sound of Us, they don't do it for everyone, and so it doesn't really matter how much you spend. It's like you have to have the God's favor in order for them to SRP your caps and make them appear out of nowhere. I mean, if it weren't that case, then I mean they'd owe pay to win a ton of caps right now. You have any idea how many caps they would owe that guy right now if they were actually just giving them out? I mean, jeez, man.
Yeah.
But
That's insane.
jeez.
Luckily, we have the
Yeah, but-
Concord police to look at the crime scene.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
We also have
Yeah,
some new
we have
modules.
I was always kind of concerned about them, especially given that I ran in a corporation called Crime.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You're in a corporation called Crime. You better watch out for the Concord Popo, because you better know they be knocking. But you said something about new nodules, Nick.
Yes, we have new modules for cargo holds. And more than the usual one, you have the ship hold and the ore hold optimizations.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did, and they changed the icon
look of it
for
as
it too.
well.
So, yeah. So and they actually split it up. If you go in the market, it is actually listed different. They're different. You've got the navigation rigs, and you've got these other rigs that are like the cargo hold, the ship hold,
Yes,
and the
I
ore hold,
first
like
thought
commanders, everything.
it were capital cargo rigs. I was like, wait, what? How does it look? Capital rigs, and then click on it, and it was like, no, can't fit it on any capital. I was, oh well.
Give us this free ship. It in this game it stinks, but I understand it's at least decent in EO.
Yeah, in EO, you have three different ships that can do compression at different tiers. Orcas are typically used in high sec because they make really good kill mills if you bring them into no sec or in low sec, and so our porpoise are really just nice economical ships that if you're trying to be an industrial fleet ship type person, it's a great way for you to get in because you can get a porpoise all fitted up and stuff for I think a little less than a bill, which by the way comes pretty easily
Dang.
in Eve. It really is a very cheap and efficient ship, and it will make you a lot of money, especially if you're just like hanging out in ISAC. You can like make money just essentially AFKing. All you do is just stick one drone on each rock, and you can literally sit out there for like hours, if not the entire day. I've had a few times where I had to work in the studio and I would turn Eve Online on and I would go out to a high sec belt in a porpoise, sick one drone per rock, and the only time I would actually have to do anything is if I looked over and saw that the rock was consumed, in which case I would sick one drone to another rock. And because the porpoise has onboard compression, I would literally keep the ship out there all day. Sometimes I would AFK, go to the store, come back, and the ship is still floating out there because the porpoise is pretty tanky in Eve, and so you don't really have to worry about suicide gankers because odds are Concord is going to show up before they can finish you off, especially in like a 1.0 system. Meanwhile, nullsec players really need the Velspar, so you collect a ton of Velspar, you compress it, you bring it out to Jita, and you can make a really good fortune just off of doing that. And it's great, but I don't know what Net thought that they were doing with the way that the system works in this game, and I think that they really just wanted to make the Roricle super, impressive and stuff. Because I'll be honest, I think if not for the ore compression features on it, I don't think people would actually invest in it in this game. It's the only really meaningful thing that it can do, and the truth is there are two other ships in Eve Online that can also do it. And why would anyone
Yeah.
spend 150 bill on a ship when there's a smaller ship that can actually do the job just as efficiently and effectively? It's just a way to get people to like invest in a bigger, better ship, I think.
Yeah. Well, that and the fact that Oracle is more tanky than a dreadnought.
That is
So
very true. The Roricle is a beast, and that is the reason why
yeah.
they it's the only ship that you can mi- that with ore compression capabilities, it's really the only ship that you will find mining in nullsec in Eve Online.
Uh, EO and what would
Well,
happen here? I mean, that's what we got to ask ourselves
I
on
think
that
I
because
think
some of these instability issues are just a little bit more than a little bit concerning.
well the
I think
problem.
it's the first one who logs in
It's probably the
has the
first
best
person that
chance.
logs in. You just shoot everything in sight and pray that the enemy doesn't like log in all at one time, and you're still waiting for your fleet to log back in. But
Yes. Oh, that would be so fucked up.
Well,
to be honest with you, though, it's not really a huge problem, and I think I typed that in the sound of us earlier, but I'll repeat it so it's on the recording. Um, because the capital ships in Eve Online are grossly overpriced. From the ISK to dollar value or ISK to euro value, it is an insane difference compared to how much one ISK is in like in Eve Online. So a dreadnought might cost you how much, Nick? If you were trying to pay for it all in euros in this game, maybe 200 to 300 euros, maybe.
No more, I
More than
think.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
So in EO, you can actually get a fully fitted dreadnought if you wanted to spend money for about 25 euros. That's how much they're worth.
Wow.
So if you lost a ship, even if it was to a glitch or a bug or something, how much would you really complain about it? I mean, sure,
Not.
it sucked, right? It sucked. But think about how long it would take you to re-earn a ship that is worth about 30 euros in this game versus a ship that is worth like 400 euros in this game. People complain because the ships are too pricey. People complain because the ships are worth too much on on an ISK versus real life money conversion rate, and they have the right to complain because the ships are grossly overpriced. So you bring
Oh,
down
they
the
are
cost
terribly
of the ships,
overpriced.
bring down the cost of the ships, people stop complaining whenever they lag out, bug out, or something. No one will give a shit. No one will care. If my ship blows up and I know that my ship is worth like 30 bucks, in real life money, guess what? I don't care because I mean, if number one, if it's worth that much, 9 times out of 10, your corporation or your alliance can probably SRP it for you. And number two, even if they can't, I mean, most of us working people, will not mind dropping 30 bucks to replace a ship like that, or most of us who don't mind grinding for a ship that is worth that much. It won't cost
Oh
you,
no, that
it won't
it
take you that long to get
it
it
makes
back.
it quite easier.
It's much easier, but it's the fact that the ISK value is so fucked up in this game, and that is where they made their biggest mistake. The ISK versus versus real life money value is so messed up that people have to care. The hardcore gamers are gonna care, and it's messed up. It's bad, but it's the setup. I don't know what else to say about it. It's the setup. It's just the setup.
Yeah.
It is.
It's the setup.
To the weekly Q&A.
Please do.
Yes, the first one. Why do they keep adding arena modes like faction war games and corporation clash? Matchmaking in faction war games can take up to 2 hours. Holy shit, I did not know that. And it's
Oh,
based on showing, and it has showing pretty clearly that 99.99% of the players are not interested in arena modes. So I totally agree with him. Like, who plays faction war games? I don't. And the answer was, this is indeed a way to improve matchmaking efficiency. We will add a reasonable time-limited mechanic to future faction wargaming so that players will have a better experience. Well, I don't get much out of that answer. Do
well,
you?
there's not really much point. No, there's not much point to the faction war games. There's not really that much point to it. And as far as the corporation clash, there seems to be absolutely zero point to it. It just
Has
seems like a
anyone
money
done
thing
that?
where you pay. Well, a few people have. I think last time I saw a screenshot of it was like last week, and it was like all of the game, only enough people to fit into one screenshot had done it. So
Oh
I
no.
mean, it's yeah, it's not very many people are doing it.
It's just
First, they never
But
thought
this
of
is
it
a
this way,
great
but it keeps
direction. We will definitely think about this feasible. How
you
do you
must be out of
pronounce
your
that?
goddamn mind. You know what? In order, wait, hold on. So they want to think about the feasibility of big ass capital ships exploring stuff, but they don't want to think about the accessibility of actually fixing co-op ships and putting Black Ops battleships in the game.
I know. Well,
It's great.
they
It's
got the
great.
mentality
It's
of
great.
bigger is better,
It's great.
bigger is better,
It's
and
great.
they even say this may become an amazing gameplay. They're excited about this. Oh no, this is not good. This is
My gosh, I'm more
no.
excited about the concept of taking a pair of pliers from my father's toolbox and yanking out each one of my teeth individually. It's just really bad.
I know, right?
I just cannot fathom like what whale made this what whale said there and and thought that this was, you know what, just fuck it, move on. Just move on to the next.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go to the last one.
let's get the last one. See if it's as bad as this last one here.
Last one. Due to the way drones work, command range, they are effectively the only ship class limited by a targeting range. This means drone ships are easily outclassed by every other weapon system. If you don't plan on adding the targeting range, at least rebalance drone control ranges so they are not outclassed by all others anymore. That's the question. And well, I think this answers it better. They understand the concerns, but they believe maintaining the difference between different weapon systems is very important. It gives players different combat experience and strategic choices. At the same time, increasing the targeting range will have a very large impact on non-drone players. So they don't really see it going anywhere. So that's a good thing.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I definitely agree with that one at least. I think maybe they redeemed themselves with that one by at least not kind of kowtowing to the because you know drones are already pretty powerful in close range and close combat. They can be pretty powerful, especially they just absolutely can wipe out frigates. You don't want to play. If you're a frigate pilot, you don't want to face a dummy. You don't want to take that dummy. You might think you can take another battleship and maybe wear it down, lock it down, maybe wait for your friends. You don't want to do it with a dummy.
No,
I mean,
If the dummy throws out small drones, you're screwed.
But the fact is, every
And you
ship
know
needs
that.
to have weaknesses. You have to have weaknesses. I mean,
Yeah.
think about how overpowered
Yeah.
interceptors were for the first like half of the game's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Exactly.
well, they still
So
are. They still are.
exactly. So I completely agree with NetEase wanting to keep the strategy in the game. Let different things be good for different things.
Exactly.
Don't make everything equal. Everything doesn't need to be equal. You don't need to be a cannon doesn't need to be shooting as far as a laser is shooting, as far as a railgun is shooting, as far as you can shoot with a drone. You don't need everything to be equal. Then everything is the same. Then what is the point of being a laser pilot? What is the point of being a drone pilot? There's no individuality to it. It's the same as every other weapon. There's no point. But I mean, there's a certain degree of skill to being a drone pilot. There's a certain skill to being a cannon pilot because it requires different tactics to use the weapon effectively. So it means something, and I'm glad that NetEase wants to keep it that way.
I mean, drone
Exactly,
control
that's also my
range,
opinion.
Hey, there
I
you
have to
go.
hide it better.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There you go.
I
There
have to
you
hide it
go.
better.
Yeah.
My goodness, I'm gonna stop making fun of these people. Did you have anything else on that list? Cause
No, the list is finally done.
I'm face palming right now, man. I'm just like I'm gonna tune in to Rambo's show later on because I know that it's like he and Taylor Rick are at least gonna stay composed. Me, I was just like, oh shit, these guys can't be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I admire
Yeah,
the fact that
I'm
he can
gonna be on
composed.
his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for his show too, and I'm hoping they do the Who Wants to Be a Billionaire because that's always an entertaining thing that they do. So
Yes.
Ooh, I want to be a villain.
This state the war report.
All right, guys, welcome to the Eve Echo State of the War report, and of course, I think that at this point everyone already knows, because if you don't know, you're clearly living under a rock. The massive war that has consumed the Eve Echoes galaxy for the past 4 months. And this is basically the Holy War, right? The war between the Crab Coalition, which is basically it encompasses most of New Eden, versus the Demolition Coalition, which is SHH, and their allies. Now, of course, like I said, I've stepped back from playing the game quite so much. I haven't really played the game in like 7 weeks, to be completely fair and completely honest. But I get an opportunity to look at these live war reports, and apparently Razzle Dazzle 2.0 has a total of almost 16,000 kills. That's an ISK value of 25.7 trillion ISK. Like,
Yes, that's
dude,
insane.
dude,
That's
I think
insane.
that's just on their side. I think that the didn't the previous wars end before they even reached that number? Like,
Yes,
damn, dude.
I think last Gen Fed war ended at like, and I can be terribly wrong, but at like 2 or 3 trillion.
I mean, I know that we didn't have as expensive as ships out there and stuff, but
No,
damn,
but this is really ridiculous.
this is insane. Like, yeah, they have and it's like it's 25.7 trillion. That's absolutely insane. And
Yes,
then, of
that's
course,
insane.
Crabco has a 18,378 kills. That's a total ISK value of 17.7 trillion ISK. Again, it's unprecedented amounts of ISK being killed. And I think that where the numbers really kind of like become a little bit more influxed is when you look at exactly what has been killed, right? When it comes to the Crab Company, it's mostly structures. The Crab Co. has destroyed 670 capsular outposts versus Demolition Coalition or Razzle Dazzle, whatever you have, 280 capsular outposts. They've destroyed 16 Corporation Citadels Tier 1, 1 Corporation Citadel Tier 2 was captured, and they've captured no Tier 3s. On the flip side of things, Crabco has captured 17 Tier 3 Citadels, 40 Tier 2 Citadels, and destroyed 77 capsular outpost or Corporation Citadels. In addition to those 670 caps, dude, it's like a massive wildfire, and all you know. There's a theory. I don't know if it's the same way in the Netherlands, but we have this theory in the United States where people love to observe an accident on the side of the road, even though
Yes, we
it's
have a saying
horrible.
for that.
It's
Yes.
horrible, right? It's the worst thing in the world, and it's like the worse that the worse the accident is, the more you're inclined to basically slow down and look at it, even though it's really bad, right? It's a car crash.
And in Germany, they actually have some fines for that. You cannot make any pictures or videos of a accident.
You know what?
Wow.
I actually agree with that, because I was traveling down a road in the town like near me, and some fumigation truck was in someone's driveway, literally upside down. Like, I don't even know how it happened. And I'm like cruising down the road, and I'm wondering why all these police are here, and why we have to drive around these barricades. And then I see, this truck upside down in someone's yard. Like, I had no idea what happened, but looking at these numbers, I can pretty much tell what happened. It looks like
a lot has happened.
and it looks like Razzle Dazzle 2.0, they've made the bulk of their kills in capital ships: 70 carriers, 22 dreadnoughts, 3 force auxiliaries, 9 freighters, and 1 capital industrial ship. Someone was out there mining with a Roricle during this war? Really?
Yes,
Man,
multiple have.
they deserve to get killed.
Apparently so.
They deserve to get killed. On the flip
Apparently so.
side, Crab Company has killed 31 carriers, 30 dreadnoughts, 1 force auxiliary, 2 freighters, 1 jump freighter. So, I gotta say, at least Shush there are a little bit more. What is the word I'm looking for? They're more
winning the
reserved.
ISK war.
They're winning the ISK war. They're definitely winning the ISK war, because there are people that don't know how to
But if
manage
you
their
look
capital ships.
structure-wise, they're not doing really good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess capital ships are fine and great as long as you have a place to dock them, right? It's great, you need them.
True.
I mean,
Luckily
realistically,
enough, you can.
yeah. I mean, the
luckily
challenges
enough-
right now. The challenges right now for Crab Coalition is, I mean, Shush has either by mandate, or they've shrunk back to such a small space now, and there's so much crab infestation in their territory that it's very, very rare to find a Swift capital undocked unless it's engaging in consensual PvP in Declan and Fate, right? Like, they don't have apps out very often. Like, you might occasionally find in a deep pocket like a Rorqual But again, there's just not much going on for us to kill in that area. So whereas if you go into crab space, actually Burr lost a Rorqual this morning. I know the pilot. I was in comms with him afterwards, and he's like, obviously bummer, but he's sort of like he's been mining, and utilizing the very mobile nature of the Rorqual. He just got caught this morning, and salute to the I think it was Yike. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but caught him. Yikai, okay, caught him, and wasn't able to get signed out in time. So it's one of those things that Crabco being as big as they are, right? We've lost 275 tosses, and Strokes has lost 670 across maybe 1,000. So it's one of those things that every side, both sides, are definitely feeling the impact of this war. It's just it's the losses that you see in the kill board, and then it's also the loss of content, the loss of the economic income from being able to rat in your space and be able to do capital NDSs in your space, to be able to mine, to be able to collect PI using your pauses. So it's challenging for everybody, and I think that's what makes it a good war, is that despite the numbers disparity there, I think it's actually relatively even, and there's a lot of good opportunity for some pretty significant battles here over the next month or two.
Yes, I really can't wait for the big capital fight we are all anxiously waiting for.
Oh yeah, that still has not happened yet. Now has it?
No.
It has not. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, there's been two battles where we've inflicted double-digit capital ship losses, but we haven't had to commit our own capitals to a, let's say, a definitive engagement yet. And so but at the same time, I think there have been times when both sides have danced around each other, right? Obviously, I think the New Year's Day CTA, we just didn't like our position, so we did try to break our subcaps out, but we left our capitals docked, and of course, they'll ridiculed us for that. But the week before, on the Christmas CTA, we brought, I think, 129, 130 dreads, and
yes,
they wisely chose not to bring their dreads out. And so it's one of those things where we've got to find an arrangement and an engagement where both sides like the way the board is arrayed before people throw a couple trillion ISK at each other, in a way it wouldn't be definitive to the war, but it wouldn't be a decisive victory for the war, but certainly it would be a massive victory. And so that's the thing, that's the challenge right now, is both sides are looking for that, that big body blow to land to the other side.
Yeah, wow. And for those of you guys that might have been, that are living under a rock somehow, some way, the voice that you are hearing is the voice of Azir, whom is number one leader of Orc, one of the leaders in Burr, and of course he has taken something of a role of fleet admiral since Mel has been away, and has been doing a fantastic job, by the way, on the side of the Crabco. I've of course flown under your command a few times, and it was a really good fleet. We got our objectives most of the time, and sometimes we actually got chased out by Shush. It was very interesting, But Oz, formally welcome to the show, and thank you for sitting down and talking to us a little bit about your perspective on how this war has been going for you.
Well, I mean, overall, things have gone, really well. We've obviously gotten to a point where the tempo of the war has slowed down quite a bit, but we were absolutely able to crush through, Penal, then Branch, then Tribute, then Vale. And that led to some really positive gains for Crab Coalition, both in territory as well as breaking up the influence of kind of the northern blocks. Right, this war was started, largely to I think, as Tahini said in his opening announcement, to bring balance to the server, right? And largely, when you look at many of the members of Crab Coalition, there's a lot of people that don't have much in common, right? Lots of people from different walks of life, different perspectives on the game and what they want to do with it, but they have all at one point or another had, we'll say, a negative interaction, with Shush and some of their more prominent entities there, and because of that, they were very much keen to get involved in this war, and that's what brings this type of coalition together. And I don't know much about the history of EVE Online, but I know that the tenure and the longevity of the coalition thus far has been the longest that I think we've seen, at least with this many members. And that's kind of what I think right now is interesting, is helping to massage the blue on blue situations and the various personalities and the various objectives that all of the member alliances and corporations have. Was in a not purple shoot it fleet with some friends that are gray. I mean, like, just they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Then we've got situations with alliances. I think there's some propaganda out there on Reddit about OTO alliance. Did we talk about it on the break, or was that in the live session prior to the break? I thought that was
I think
probably
before
during the break before we came back.
I think it was during the break. Yeah. So, I mean, OTO is a smaller alliance. Maybe for those of you that don't know, they've got, I think, maybe 7 or 8 SOV in far western Tenerife. They've got, some ties to some other plus 8 corporations that used to be in Fire or No. But they ended up in Crab Coalition, and then when No left, they kind of were with us, and they've kind of been relatively passive, we'll just say, in everything, and we've been asking them to get more engaged and not just sit happily farming blue to the vast majority of the universe. And so now there's some pushback on them that they haven't participated, and there's some communication that, hey, if you're not going to participate, we'll set you gray, you don't have to be in Crabco. And now there's the propaganda war of, well, you're just trying to set us gray so AOA can gobble us up. Like, well, no, we would actually love for you to be blue and actually help us go shoot Shush, which you haven't done much of in the last 3 months. But we've got to kind of work that out. And so that's an ongoing thing, right? Where people, there are some entities that really didn't join the war because they didn't want to shoot Shush necessarily. They thought that being blue to half the entities in the game wouldn't be a terrible thing for farming. So so there's a little bit of that we're sorting through, and just trying to say, hey, look, you don't have to be a member of Crabco. It doesn't mean we're going to attack you. It just means that if you're not blue to us, you'd be gray to us, and then our players would actually have a little bit more to hunt, which at times has been, I think, a complaint of a lot of the PvP players, because trying to going through search base right now, if they're not forming up under an FC, it is, I think, like I said, it's desolate. And we can go in there and we can, I'd say probably 20 to 21 hours a day, we can pretty much go in there, shoot whatever structure we want, burn whatever base we want, chase any rat or miner we want. And then on some days they'll form up. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. But if you tried to bring a Daredevil from Brant all the way down to like LTEC C, you were going to get bubbled, and you were going to have like 90% of the time you were going to run into somebody running a drag bubble.
Yeah, well, 90% is even low. Then 99.
Yeah.
I think that
we
were actually on our
not
way
much of
to
a solo
Shush
hunter.
Space one day, and didn't we got caught by someone else though, Nick, on that gate. Decided to take that fight.
It still took 3 Macarials to take me down.
It was great though. I mean, we actually did really well, all things considered. But eventually
Outnumbered, outgunned.
They overwhelmed us, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My hat off to you. Like, seriously. I don't want all that headache.
Yeah, well, there's good days and bad days, right? But mostly we've accomplished the vast majority we needed to accomplish, and we've got a little bit more work to do still.
Oh yes, we will continue for the next few months.
Yeah.
We also have Achieved in the studio.
Absolutely, who we're going to be
we do.
poking in just a little bit. Sheep, how are you? Are you at your microphone at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, and
That's
sounded
awesome.
really good for the content creators corner.
All
Man,
right.
I mean, I don't know what to say, and quite honestly, I don't have much to say because I haven't really been in the game, but it's great to see that both sides are still like really into it. And I mean, Crabco is going strong. I see the numbers, but even though, yes, Demo Coalition is definitely winning that ISQUAR, and they're winning it quite significantly right now. They are really killing off those ships. The Crabco objectives are clearly being met, and I think that keeps morale up. And there was a thing back when I was working with Stony Sluts more often during the days of a Pantheon, right? And one of those things that they would often say is really the qualifications for being a fleet commander should change from how talented you are as an orator or how talented you are with grid tactics to do you have time, right? Because at the end of the day, it's really about how much time you have. A fleet commander can be extraordinary, can be a great tactician, and a fantastic orator to the people. But if you don't have time, then I mean, what are you gonna do? And so Oz, I mean, I know it fell into your lap, but you've done a great job with running with the ball. Occasionally, I do have an opportunity to drop in. I see the announcements that you're making and stuff like that, and I poke my head in and go, "Damn, Oz is still going. He's still doing his thing." So, congratulations on your admiralty, and more or less, congratulations on continuing to do you as you do you, and bringing glory to the crabs because it's what it's all about, I guess.
Yeah, we're all in this glorious crab bucket together.
And in just a moment, we do have.
Welcome to the Content Creators Corner featuring Eden's best and brightest on New Eden FM.
See, it's been so long since I've had to do stuff like this. I had to actually remember how to hit my drops properly. Damn, bad DJ. But anyway, Achieved, my good friend. Number one, welcome to the show. You, of course, have been a huge supporter of this broadcast, and it's been about a month since number one, I stepped away. I needed to, for those of you guys that are just tuning in, I needed to get away, and I needed to number one focus a little bit more on my real life things. One thing about Eve is that it really does consume you, right? If you want to do Eve and you want to do it right, if you are leadership in any capacity, if you're a leadership of a corporation, leadership of an alliance, you're a fleet commander or something like that, then you know how much time you have to devote to doing this if you want to do it right. Some of us, we have this mentality that we don't want to be there and do less when we know we could do more. And I've always been one of those people. I don't like to do less if I think that I can do more or if I know I have the capability of doing more. I don't mind joining a fleet if there are enough fleet commanders to take over, but I'm also not going to join a fleet knowing that there is, the fleet commander could use help with some of the things that are going on in the fleet, and I'm there and I could lend my help. Lend a hand to them. And so I have spent this, if you've been wondering, what I've been for the past 7 weeks, I've been, number one, tackling medical issues. I have extremely, chronic back problems, and they're going to be requiring surgery. I will talk more extensively about them to those of you guys that DM me and stuff, and if you want to know about that whole thing, but that's set for May 4th. And when that happens, I'm pretty much going to be in the hospital for an entire week. So, if you want to drop me a line while I'm in the hospital, it's all well and good. And if I don't see it, I'm sure that my sister will pass along the message for me. But I've been dealing with that. I've also been getting in touch with some things, spiritually. I have myself a nice little flower pot out there where I've been growing sunflowers. It's awesome. And of course, I've been focusing on my career related goals so I can put out new music like my good buddy Sheeved here because I haven't done it in a long time, right? And you get to a point where you start to get the itch and you just have to do it again. But Chief, just talk to me a little bit about how has content creation been for you in relation to the game? What have you been up to?
Well, it's been a change in some regards. I have always tried to be the positive guy, but then I had to, because I'm working. I wouldn't say close with Bensi, but he's doing his content, and he turned um, into a negative version of Eve. So I because I started a bit negative, I think. And when he turned negative, I felt like I had to go positive. So I tried to find all the positive things in the game. Um, but yeah, lately it's been overwhelming with what he has done, like what Netis has done, and it's quite bad at some points. So yeah, I have been doing some negative videos again,
I mean,
but also yeah, my
I
streaming and
you
stuff.
you were tuned in earlier today to like the part of the broadcast where I was laughing my ass off at these guys, right? I mean,
Oh, when I
Yes.
heard that for the first time, insane.
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
When I read that for the first time, I was like, "What?"
Are you talking about the capital scanning or whatever it
Yes.
That
was?
was
Yeah, that
ridiculous.
was weird because I had my nano competition yesterday, and they told me to read because we had time left over, and so they told me to read the Q&A, and I had no idea. And yeah, I mean, it came as a shock, man. I don't understand. So
I think
I gave them some crazy ideas.
if it's a person that doesn't really understand the Eve itself, that's one thing. I guess it kind of makes sense. I just wonder, like, did the person who even made that statement, are they like a high sec dweller that doesn't even understand the notion of capital ships? Because if they did, I think that they would realize that exploring in a capital ship, do you even realize just how fast, how fast
I can I
you're
just throw
going?
out a crazy? Can I just throw out like a tinfoil hat crazy?
Yes.
What if that's how NetEase is going to get us into wormhole space? Like this super
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
whale pay to win event where you
Oh
have
my
to have
gosh.
this special capital exploration thing that kind
Oh
of
my
like opens
gosh.
up the wormhole and then like heightens us in. They
yes.
heightens the jump bridges, right?
Of
Like it can
course.
basically take people into the wormhole.
This is also this is pretty much what I did with my videos back in the days. Like, and when I say back in the days, like a couple of months ago. But I tried to see the positive thing, right? So
Right.
you need a capital to actually find a wormhole, and that would be
Maybe.
awesome. But that would be really cool. But I don't think it is that. But yeah, that would
I
work.
I think the answer that was given was like a very templated customer service. Wow, thanks for that amazing idea. We'll consider it.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely that we get it into stations, right? So we can scan from a station. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Are we gonna get wormholes like in the near future? I don't know.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know.
we still have the drone lands out there too, and
We do.
the Golden Horde Alliance will rise again and retake the borders to wormhole space when this all comes down.
And when that all goes
Dude,
down,
that's
I
gonna be awesome.
guarantee that us will be the fleet admiral for that too.
No, man, I left.
For the horde, for the
Oh
horde.
my
Oh my
god, the horde,
gosh.
for the horde. Oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh.
I will never be under an organization that has a charter ever again.
I don't know, but I miss the for the horde memes and stuff like and all that. I missed it because yeah, I was in Golden Horde somewhere and yeah,
Yeah.
I had fun. It was a fun organization to be a part of. I wasn't part of the leadership, so I didn't get into all that charter business and whatnot. But the memes were great.
That's how they tricked us into being a democracy.
Yeah.
With
But
Mongolian throat metal, that's how you became a democracy in GHA is through Mongolian throat metal.
I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking
yeah,
about, but
Same. I
I
was
don't
just
know either.
flabbergasted. Like, what?
No, no, like it was just one of those. It was
I'm
just one of those weird
flabbergasted too.
cultural things. No, I mean, yeah, we're definitely going down a rabbit hole. I took you
Oh,
guys from talking
the
about
Who.
I
wormholes.
mean,
The Who are awesome. I love the Who. I am addicted to the Who.
to be honest though, like, and like, I can understand, and and it's not to advocate or anything, but Benzi, I can understand why Benzi is like frustrated right now, right? I did talk
Sure.
to Benzi, oh my goodness, last year when we were doing the first radio shows. He was a guest on the show in the earlier days, when myself and Raider Rakasan and Rosalind No Spy were the co-hosts, and so we got a chance to sit and talk to Benzie, and he was just like such a really cool um, guy. He would drop in occasionally in the server, and he would give advice to other content creators. I mean, he really is a great a great guy to know and to talk to, but. Right now, I think that he's just like he's gotten to a point where he's super frustrated because just like him, I know how it is because I was one of the beta testers too for this game. I was one of the people that was playing this game, like playing EVE Online and just waiting for the opportunity to basically rebuild New Eden all over again, right? Um and we all had hopes that NetEase was going to do a good job with it because when we heard them talk, they were so passionate about doing the game, and they were all like, "Yeah, we're Eve veterans. You know, we've been playing the game. We admire the game," and so we all had the exact same level of, well, these guys admire the game. They love the game. They're going to do a good job with the game, and 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 over time, it was like so hard not to become more negative. The first time I remembered feeling negative about NetEase was when they decided to put E-warships in the game, and I realized that sensor dampeners weren't going to limit targeting range, or that Blackbirds didn't actually
The
have,
jamming.
electronic countermeasures. That
Yeah.
that was the first time I remember being disappointed with NetEase, and I realized that this thing that they were talking about, they wanted to do something that was their own flavor or whatever, and it's okay to do stuff that's your own flavor, but when it feels like it's just being watered down or it's not like good or anything, I looked past it with the missiles that were doing omni damage when I knew that they missiles needed ammo, or at least a way to switch
Well,
between charges early in the game.
here's the thing.
But
Here's the thing. Eve Online is like orange juice, and Eve Echoes is like orange flavored Kool-Aid.
leave me alone.
That's.
Uh, so
I want to
oh.
take a moment to take up for
Less
the
good
orange
for
flavored
you?
Kool-Aid, which
What?
is actually really good. I'm just saying, I like orange flavored Kool-Aid. Thank you very much.
McDonald's orange drink.
But hey, but
Oh damn.
the orange drink, yeah, orange drink. There ain't nothing wrong with
Are you?
orange drink, but if you're wanting orange juice and you get orange drink, guess what? You're a little disappointed.
Shoot, killing me.
I guess.
but but Benzie is just like he's just really frustrated. I mean, over time, I got to that point where I just was looking like, oh my goodness, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? I know that you can't do everything in Eve Echoes that you can do in Eve Online. That's obvious, but there were certain things that when they came out, like at first there were no plans to put high angular weapons in the game for dreadnoughts. I'm like, so let me get this straight. Dreadnoughts, which require a year of committing skill points, are literally just going to be for shooting structures and other capital ships. Okay.
I mean, the game is missing a couple of things, but I think in time it will work. It's just that right now they are focusing still on the big stuff, as we clearly hear on the Q&A here recently. Like
It's just
as soon as it's capitals, they're interested about it.
like
But
it's such
yeah,
a but it's
I
just
have
like so
also
bad. Like it's so bad. Like it's so bad though. It's like so bad. We
I
have
think
it,
yeah.
when you think about it, I mean, there are so many other parts of this world: tactical destroyers, strategic cruisers. I mean, we just got new battle cruisers in Eve Online, if I'm not mistaken. Black Ops battleships. Just there's so many different other things that could be in there for people that don't want to just float around in a capital ship all the time. I mean, look at the way that this war has gone. I mean, how often do you actually see capital ships taking part in these battles? When was the last time there was a full-on capital battle? And caps have been out for what, 2 years now? It, it's
no a
it,
year, I
no,
think, a year and a half.
yeah,
it's been
a
okay,
year
so it's been a
maybe.
year and some months. Either way, it's killing me. That's the part that's killing me. It's like,
Well, what's killing me
It's two
is that
different parts of the
I have
game.
heard a whisper that in the end of this year we will have Titans.
Yes.
I was under the impression it was August.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
it might be. Yeah, it might be
I'll
sooner.
laugh at you.
Oh
Have
no!
Titans by August.
So mean, I think Mackenzie mentioned it earlier, and I think it's impactful to note that the issue with capital ships in this game is the tremendous ISK sink to build them, and then they take time to build, and the insurance system, the way they have done them for capitals, makes them completely untenable. It is you do not want to replace a capital ship through the insurance system, which is why every alliance, Burr, Shush, I'm sure, I know No does as well, Void does, TSC does. You have to have, for your cap SRP, which they like to joke that, it's all just station parts, which of course is, 30% true, right? But no, you have to have fitted, rigged holes sitting around just waiting so that if you lose a battle, you can jump right back into a capital ship the next day. And that is all in ISync.
Yes. And
imagine this game without capitals and just insurance.
I mean, imagine this game without a shitty insurance system. That's how I look at it.
It sure is. It sure is. But if all the ships has the same issue that Capital has today, then we wouldn't use the insurance. So Capitals is actually like it's in some way it's the right way to do it.
I mean,
in terms of insurance.
I kind of agree with you, Chief. Like, I definitely, I agree that it's the way to do it under the current situation that they've got going on. But, I mean, the capital ships are just way too expensive, period. Like, that's why nobody wants to commit them. They're just way too expensive.
It's
like,
also
if you want to swipe,
opinion.
like, if you want to swipe to insure a capital, it will cost you about $400 or $500, if I'm not mistaken.
And
with the cost of parts, it's probably less now, but yeah,
that's
it's
the
still
thing.
expensive.
Like, I haven't really heard back from SHH pilots or anything, but I don't know if Pay to Win actually SRP didn't they lose like some carriers a week or so ago, something like that.
Yeah, about 12, I think.
Yeah, And I mean, think about how much, even though like Pay to Win might be a rich guy, but think about like how much it would have cost him to swipe a credit card to replace all 12 of those. It's insane.
Red Sea lost them, by the way.
Oh, Red Sea lost them. Oh, okay, that would explain it. Okay. I'm sorry, Knox. I'm sorry, Knox. I'm sorry, Knox.
Whoops.
That still sucks,
I believe that's how Damon Zell lost the carrier that he can't get replaced.
I think that was the one.
Was he trying to actually get that one replaced through the devs?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone else was getting them replaced, so I don't blame him.
That shit got me so pissed off when I read it, man.
Dude, I don't even know, man.
The one, the one that was destroyed in PvP by the solo, I don't know if it was an interdictor or what it was, but man, or Covops, but geez, that was.
It was a Bellic.
It was a Bellicose Covops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was really disappointing to see. I don't blame the guy for asking for it back. Though I think we've all seen evidence of them saying, yeah, he fell asleep. No, was that really the truth? Who knows? I mean, you never know what you read on Reddit, if how much of it's just complete malarkey. But yeah,
it's still weird that he got it back, and the reasoning that they have to give it back got me on edge. So when they can go outside the game and change it, I don't really like it. Yeah, you got this other guy, 2 Series or Series 2 Series, I think. He lost his second Macario over 400 billion ISK.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow!
Was that the Russian guy that was on your?
Guy,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I had him twice now. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he lost it again. It was even worse. Like it was even more expensive. It's like 440 billion ISK or something.
Like, did he fall asleep in it? I hope not.
No, he said it was his own fault this time as well. He tried something with a friend on a safe spot, and then he warped. And usually you can dock at the station, right? But he couldn't, so he got killed by the gate guns.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh my gosh, that
happened to me a few times.
I'm not sure if he could get it back. I mean, I'm not sure if he had the IP for it.
I mean, Concord kind of killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, normally it's like, it's just a Macarial, but 440 billion?
He may as well just like, why? He needs to retire that ship and just get a capital ship.
Yes, that's cheaper, man.
Yeah, I think I talked to him about it, and he said, capital is not fun, and I agree. I fly my battleships all the time. So I think yeah, but he's going into nullsec in due time. He's thinking about not putting his money on the material again, and he will put it on his members instead. So I think it's pretty good, like
Oh, that's
Kugama.
really nice.
Yeah, it is. So
It's great. He has
we're gonna see
perspective on
some.
what he wants to do. I like it.
Yeah.
Might be a new entity coming up.
Yeah,
Might
he
fly the
clearly
first
has
Titan.
I mean, he has the
How much will
tenacity
a
to do what
Titan
he's
be?
doing. So,
How
I
much will
think
a
about
Titan
the
be?
same price as what he lost.
Yes, me too. Me too. Like 300 billion isk.
Yeah,
Easy.
something
Easy.
like that.
Yeah.
I
Every ship in EVE Online, but it's gonna take time. They have ships coming
I
out
and
now,
I don't
smaller
think
ships.
anyone minds that. I think people mind the fact
No,
that they're only focused on capital shifts right now. That's their problem. It doesn't
I
matter how
think so.
long it
Yeah,
takes. It's the fact that every time they run or release a new ship, it's like it's a capital ship, and it's an overpriced capital ship, you know. And as far as Eve Online is concerned, Eve Online doesn't have like an endless sea of people either. I do think that that CCP has a bigger team than NetEase does to work on those things. So you're definitely right about that. But there was something that CCP did, and it was very important. Something that they had to realize that they had to do. They dropped capital ships, and for a while they were overpowered. But then they realized that they had to bring capital ships into a point where people understood that other ships had value too. Right now, it doesn't feel like NetEase has gotten to the point where they understand that yet. So will they release all those ships into the game? Yes, but who will be left to enjoy them if they just keep on dropping in capital ships and ships that people don't want to commit? Who will be left to enjoy it? I mean,
agree.
that's my fear for the game, right? It's not the idea that they can't do it or that they won't do it or that what they're doing isn't good. It's the fact that they're not giving their community what they want, and when you're not giving, it's like if you only have 20 minutes worth of time to work on something that fits what is going to keep your community playing the game and loyal to you. Don't work on what you think that the community wants or what they're telling you they don't want, because the whales are going to swipe their credit card and they're going to keep on paying. The whales, they're going to pay for shit no matter what. But your honest players, the ones that actually fill out the population so that those wells have someone to shoot, are the ones that you need to be considering, because eventually you run out of those average Joe players who are paying their subscription fee and paying for the Concord passes and buying a nanocore when they think that they like it or something like that. And then your wells run out of people to shoot and they run off to a new game, because guess what? Wells, something that I've learned about mobile games over time, whales are a migratory species. They go from game to game with their credit cards, holding their pay to win button, and they will press that fucking button. They will press that
Yes.
clicker until
Holy
it
shit.
gets bored, until it gets boring. They will press that button and press that button and press that goddamn button. And once the game community has dried up, once they are basically kings of the castle and there's nothing left for them to accomplish, they move on to something new. Every whale that I've spoken to across every different mobile game that I have played have told me the same story. The game got boring, people stopped playing it, they basically took over everything and then they moved on and they did something else. And so this is the fear. I know that it's like, well, I know that it's a mobile game and so on and so forth, but for those of us that actually do care about Eve culture, I mean, it was a masterpiece that could have been a lot better. And that's it. But whatever they want to do, it's fine with them, and it's all well and good and such.
I
But
think it's fine.
the heat that Benzie,
Life
like
goes on.
Benzie feeling the
Life
way
goes
that he
on.
does, I understand it, because I feel that way. You know what I mean? I haven't logged into the game in 7 weeks. That tells you how I feel about the game. I haven't logged in 7 weeks, and I
The
think
traitor.
it's just,
She's going to the dark side.
oh
Yes.
man. Hey, look, I
So
have.
so imagine it takes so imagine it takes 2 years to get this great, like to get what we need in the game to be implemented. That is 2 years of people leaving the game, and only whales are going to be in the game. That means no one is going to farm in the game. So every price is gonna go up. So just buy on the market now, boys. And
Well,
in 2 years you can just sell it.
I mean, there
In
is
two
a
years, you can come back and be rich.
Yes.
there's a point that there's the other point that you have to be a little bit concerned about, and that's the part where you realize that eventually even whales cannot just keep the servers going indefinitely. Pay to Win is swiping his credit cards right now because there's a war and because he cares about his people, right? For the most part. He cares about keeping Silent running, and and he's willing to invest in his alliance. And so, but he's already said he doesn't play the game anymore. He doesn't play the game anymore, right? So that's one whale, a mega whale, by the way, who doesn't play the game anymore because even though he cares about his people, he doesn't play the game anymore. He doesn't find it fun anymore. It's not worth his time anymore. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
so whales alone cannot keep a game going. You have got to have your moms and your dads and your kids that are just playing the game because they like it and because it's fun for them. And I'm just my concern, and it's not like to say, oh, Nutties is just absolutely horrible people. They're not horrible people. I think that they just have the wrong perspective in what is going to make this game flourish and last, past the next 2 years. It took a lot of effort and a lot of bumps and a lot of bruises and a lot of mistakes for Eve Online to make it to 20 years. They made a
It,
lot of
yeah.
mistakes. They didn't listen to
Eve
their
Online.
community in some cases, and they paid for it. They learned that shit the hard way.
Yeah, they learn. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say they learn the
Oh
the
my
hard way.
gosh.
But Eve Online, even though it's very known, people know about it, and it's not that. I mean, it's not that big. It's not that many people playing if you look at other games, and it's because Eve Online it's a special game. And I
Mm-hmm.
think Eve Echoes is also a special game. I mean, it's not easy. You cannot join this game and you think everything will be like written in stone for you. Like this is what you have to do. You have to have your own goals. Like you have to make up something and kind of dream away in your own little world uh, to actually play this game because like there is no real lore and I don't know how Eve Online is nowadays. I might actually play it again, but I mean, there you have some lore, but I mean that is boring as fuck too. It's
I
really
mean,
boring for me.
so they recently did that big
Yeah.
update. I think it was towards the end of
Which
last year,
one?
like November. I think it was Uprising. And the thing that they put into it was they put in a more immersive experience. Like they actually did invest in cleaning up the game. They enhanced the audio visual experience. They made it so that it's more when you talk to, like, say for example, the quest givers and stuff in the game. Um, it's a better experience to talk to them and stuff like that. It's in thing is still something that is going on, and they recently released a comic series along. I think Dark Horse Comics did that, published the
Oh,
books
cool.
where they literally told the Capsuleer's Chronicles. So there was actually a comic series, and you can get it as a graphic novel now, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. So they have invested in the lore of the game, where the game is. Occasionally they will release these reports. I forgot what they are called. I would have to log into the
Yeah,
game
a
to look
scope,
at it.
right?
The
The
scope,
scope. Are they doing
where
that
they will talk
today?
about what
Yeah.
is going on in the game and what's happening. They also do, I think, news from Jita or something like that, where they talk about the
Yeah.
development plan for the game. And so there is a quite a bit that's invested in lore. It's not as deep or rich, but I mean, as far as all those things are concerned, I'm only here because these are my friends, these are my community members, and it's the same thing with with the people that are playing the game. They're my friends, and that is my only real reason for actually wanting to hang around here. And I guess it's a good reason. It's probably the best reason that you can find, but I think that's also kind of, it's also kind of, it's good but it's bad, right? Because you could just as easily, you and your friends could, if you're willing to, you just migrate over to another game, and it's the same people, the same community. You're just getting to, you just have a different experience, right? And like I
Learn a different thing,
for those of you
like me and Smooth
guys,
did.
enough. I'm going to try to get this recording for those of you guys that might want to listen to it again, or you might want to have your friends listen to this a little bit later on. I know that a lot of the silent pilots, they do, listen to this broadcast. I appreciate that, and usually they will listen to the recordings. Of course, for those of you guys that are going to be around in a few hours, Rambo and Taylor Rick do have their show, The Echoes of New Eden, which is their live podcast, which is hosted on you can actually listen to it on a variety of different places. Number one, you can head over to his Discord for Echoes of New Eden, and if you run into the cap, I'm not sure if they figured out that issue yet. You can of course check out you can check it out on YouTube, where you can look at Rambo and Taylor Rick in all their handsome glory while they are doing the shows, and of course it's really great when they're hosting their game shows like Who Wants to Be a Billionaire, etc. You can check those things out live in vivid color, and I think it's really really cool to check it out on YouTube. So, and I encourage you guys to go over there and to check them out later on tonight if you have got the time to do it. Support Rambo; he's an awesome guy. But I think that Alondria, Fat Nick, did you two have anything else?
Well,
No.
there is one last thing that normally I'm contractually obligated to tell people to boop and local, but now that I'm a secret CEO of Boop and everything like that, we're now in Meow, and I'm really confused. So I'm
What?
just really not sure what I'm supposed to do in local anymore. So
What is a meow?
I'm waiting for the memo on what I'm supposed to be doing there. Well, yes, and Boop became Meow. So yeah, it's a very maybe I'm supposed to meow in local. I'm not sure anymore.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the music now. Love
Cat
hosting
puns
places
in
too.
local. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My gosh.
All
Boop
I
and
right,
local
meow.
people.
You can figure that one out for yourself. My
All
goodness.
right, meow. All right, meow.